This old Bible printed in 1775 shows us that we used to follow a calendar of 13 months. What's even weirder is that the first month was March. If you flip through to the end, you'll see it has 13 months, and look at this. Sunday is listed as the first day of the week, Monday as the second, and Saturday or Sabbath as the seventh. Is there something beneath the surface of everything we've been taught? There is, and that's what we'll be uncovering today. The missing puzzle piece. When we discovered the 1775 Bible, it felt like we had stumbled upon a missing piece of a puzzle we didn't even realize was incomplete. As we reflected on this discovery, more questions began to surface. What if the holidays we celebrate, the ones we've always believed to be rooted in ancient traditions, were actually meant to follow an entirely different rhythm? A rhythm dictated by this lost calendar, hidden away and forgotten perhaps for centuries. Take Christmas, for example. It's often said to be a rebranding of older pagan festivities, but if this 1775 system had been followed, where would that leave December 25th? Would it still carry the same weight, the same significance? What if the meaning we attach to these days is only so because it fits within the current version of time? If the calendar had been different, would Christmas or any of our holidays still coincide with the winter solstice or any of the celestial events we associate them with? And if holidays are affected, what about daily life? Could this forgotten arrangement of time hold the key to something we've lost touch with, something deeper, more attuned to the cycles of the Earth and the universe? It was as though by peeling back the layers of history, we might discover a forgotten relationship with time that could illuminate a greater understanding of our place in the universe. Could this rediscovery be the key to reconnecting with the deeper cosmic cycles that guide not just the Earth but all of existence? The idea was both exhilarating and unsettling, and it left us with an unshakable feeling that there was so much more beneath the surface than we've ever been taught. From an astrological standpoint, the association between days of the week and celestial bodies has been a cornerstone of many ancient systems stretching back thousands of years. Each day was believed to be governed by a different planet or celestial entity, with its energy influencing human behavior, fate, and the natural world. This system forms the basis of astrology and was integrated into many cultures long before the modern calendar took shape. But what if our current calendar, our 7-day week, has been misaligned with the original cosmic order? What if the connection between these celestial bodies and the days they govern has been disrupted? As a result, we are no longer in sync with the cosmic flow. Let's start with an example. Sunday, the day of the sun. In astrological terms, the sun governs vitality, identity, and self-expression. In many ancient cultures, Sunday was dedicated to honoring the sun, a life-giving force that sustains everything on Earth. Historically, this day was marked by rest, celebration, or rituals that honored the sun's energy. However, as Christianity spread, particularly during the reign of Emperor Constantine, the Church shifted the focus. Constantine decreed that Sunday would be the official day of worship, aligning it with Christian beliefs and symbolically connecting it to the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who is often associated with light and salvation. However, many believe this move wasn't purely spiritual. It was also a political decision aimed at unifying the empire by blending pagan sun worship with Christianity. If these celestial bodies are indeed influencing the days of our week, what happens when we fall out of sync with them? Astrology teaches that planets have distinct energies that affect human life, and aligning our actions with these planetary influences could lead to a more harmonious existence. But if our calendar no longer reflects this natural order, it could mean we are disconnected from a deeper rhythm of the universe, a rhythm that guided our ancestors and shaped the spiritual practices of entire civilizations. In the context of the Bible, this connection between celestial bodies and days can also be found. The Bible speaks of cycles, seasons, and the importance of time as ordained by God. Ecclesiastes 3 famously tells us, To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. But if the calendar we follow is misaligned with the true rhythms of creation, how can we fully live in accordance with divine timing? Theories around the Bible's lost 13-month calendar suggest that it was more in tune with celestial movements and natural cycles. This version of time may have allowed people to live more harmoniously with the earth and the heavens. The 13-month calendar also brings to mind the lunar cycles, which are often associated with spiritual growth, feminine energy, and intuition. If we were to realign our calendar with these natural rhythms, as some ancient traditions suggest, could we restore a lost connection to the divine? This raises a fundamental question. Who altered the structure of our week, thereby reshaping the fabric of our lives? But there's more. The 1775 Bible confirms that reality isn't fixed. Take, for instance, the amalgamation of pagan tradition with Christian holidays. Many of us celebrate Christmas on December 25th, completely unaware of its layered history. In the early centuries of Christianity, this date wasn't chosen because it was historically accurate. It was chosen because it conveniently aligned with pre-existing pagan festivals like the Roman Saturnalia and the Germanic Yule. The Church strategically placed the birth of Jesus around these celebrations to ease the transition for new converts. Imagine the blend: a birth story of light, hope, and salvation grafted onto centuries-old traditions of celebrating the return of the sun during the winter solstice. Now think about that for a second. This isn't just a random choice. It's an intentional molding of reality, a move that was less about precision and more about creating a shared belief system. What's fascinating here is that reality, as it was understood, was bent to fit a new narrative. The original significance of the winter solstice transformed into the celebration of Christ's birth, and suddenly everyone accepted this as truth. But as historical and scriptural evidence suggests, Jesus was likely not born in December at all. The Bible offers no specific date for his birth. Scholars point to clues that suggest a spring birth, when shepherds would be tending their flocks during lambing season, far from the chill of December. This choice of date wasn't about accuracy. It was about symbolism. Aligning Christ's birth with the rebirth of the sun became an easy way to blend traditions and introduce new ideas to a populace that was used to celebrating something similar. This blending of festivals shows that what we accept as reality can be shaped, altered, and repurposed. Reality, it turns out, is more fluid than we often realize. Consider this: the origins of the Christmas tree, a symbol that has become ubiquitous with the holiday season, were not originally part of Christian tradition at all. In fact, ancient pagan practices involved cutting down trees, decorating them with balls symbolic of fertility and renewal, and setting them up as part of rituals to honor gods like Tammuz and Nimrod. These practices, far from being forgotten, were adapted and reinterpreted through the lens of Christianity, despite biblical passages that explicitly warn against such customs. This is another instance where reality was twisted to accommodate a new belief system, and society followed along without questioning it. So what does this mean for us? It means that much of what we accept as unchangeable, the holidays we celebrate, the structures we follow, are not fixed in stone. They've been shaped by centuries of human intention and adaptation. If reality can be molded in such ways, then who's to say it isn't still being shaped right now? This concept extends far beyond the boundaries of religious traditions. In many ways, the societal structures we live under today, our ideas of success, our understanding of time, and even our notions of right and wrong are constructs. They've been built over time, not necessarily based on objective truth, but rather through the consensus of those in power or those who came before us. Social conditioning plays a massive role in shaping what we believe to be possible. From the moment we are born, we are taught to conform to the structures around us. We celebrate the holidays our parents celebrated, follow the traditions they followed, and accept the societal norms they deemed acceptable. But what if we stopped for a moment to question these traditions and norms? What if, instead of accepting them at face value, we began to look deeper into their origins, their meanings, and how they came to be? Doing so would reveal that reality is not a fixed entity. It is malleable, adaptable, and open to reinterpretation. This is where we begin to see the cracks in the world we believe to be solid. If we have the power to change traditions, to redefine what is normal, then we also have the power to reshape our own realities. This isn't just a philosophical idea, it's a practical one. Every day we participate in the creation of our reality, whether we realize it or not. Our beliefs, our actions, and our collective agreement on what is real shape the world we live in. Think about the calendar. Most of us move through our days without questioning why our year is divided into 12 months. We follow the Gregorian calendar without considering the alternatives. Yet other cultures and historical periods have operated on entirely different systems. The ancient Egyptians, for instance, used a 13-month calendar that aligned with the lunar cycle. The Bible itself refers to an unconventional 13-month year beginning in March. This structure, closer to the natural rhythms of the moon, suggests a more authentic alignment with celestial design, a stark contrast to the modern calendar that we've all been conditioned to follow. Here's where it gets interesting. The fact that different cultures at different times follow different calendars shows that even time itself, the most rigid of concepts, is not as fixed as we might believe. It's another layer of reality that has been shaped, manipulated, and redefined over centuries. The current calendar we follow today wasn't chosen because it's inherently right. It was chosen because it fit the needs of the time. This, too, is a form of social conditioning, a subtle way that reality is molded by human intention. If time can be shaped, then what else in our lives is subject to change? The truth is almost everything. Our beliefs about what is possible, what is true, and what is real are all influenced by the world around us. And if we have the power to shape these beliefs, then we also have the power to reshape the reality we experience. The catalyst behind this change isn't immediately clear. It could have been a gradual shift driven by the influence of religious and secular authorities over millennia, or perhaps it was a deliberate move to distance contemporary practices from ancient traditions. Either way, understanding the origin of this shift may shed light on how deeply it has impacted our relationship with time and the cosmos. It has changed our definition of truth. But what is truth? What is that truth? It's a truth that challenges the very nature of our reality. A truth that calls into question the world we live in, the history we've been taught, and even the spiritual beliefs we hold dear. To understand it, we must first look at the nature of reality itself. The philosopher Plato once described this world as a shadow, a mere reflection of a deeper, truer world hidden from our senses. This is not just ancient philosophy. It resonates with spiritual teachings across cultures and time periods. The Bible, too, speaks of a veil of layers of illusion that separate us from the divine, from the real. Could it be that the reality we experience day to day is nothing more than a carefully constructed lie? As we dive deeper into the 1775 Bible, one thing becomes clear. The world we live in is far more complex and controlled than we've been led to believe. It's as if humanity has been sleepwalking through a dream, unaware that what we think of as reality is actually an illusion. A matrix, if you will, designed to keep us blind to our true power. The messages in this Bible seem to point toward a grand deception, one that has been in place for centuries, manipulating our perceptions and shaping the world around us. But who is behind this deception and why? To answer that, we must look beyond the surface of history, beyond the simple stories we've been told. This isn't just about governments or religious institutions, though they've certainly played their roles. No, this deception is much deeper, older, and more insidious. It stretches back through time to the very origins of human civilization, and it is rooted in the control of knowledge. Knowledge, after all, is power, and the greatest knowledge, the kind that sets people truly free, has always been hidden from the public, guarded by secret societies, religious orders, and powerful elites. This control of knowledge is evident in the very way the Bible has been used throughout history. While many people see it as a sacred text filled with divine wisdom, it has also been a tool for control. Over the centuries, certain translations and interpretations have been pushed to the forefront, while others, those that might empower the individual, have been buried or distorted. Free will and personal power. One of the most striking aspects of this Bible is its emphasis on free will and personal power. Throughout its pages, in passages that have been mistranslated or misunderstood for generations, there are hints that humanity holds a far greater power than we've been led to believe. According to these ancient messages, the divine is not some distant, separate force but something intrinsic to each and every one of us. The real truth, the one that has been hidden from us, is that we are co-creators of our reality. The universe responds to our thoughts, our beliefs, and our intentions in ways that we've only begun to understand. Think about it for a moment. If you believe you're powerless, you act powerless. If you believe the world is a fixed, unchangeable place, you stop trying to change it. This is the lie we've been living in for centuries. The belief that we are at the mercy of forces beyond our control, whether they be governments, gods, or fate itself. But the 1775 Bible, with its hidden messages and ancient wisdom, reveals a different story. It tells us that the power has always been within us. The problem is, most of us have forgotten how to use it. The Bible has always been seen as a guidebook for spiritual truth. But what if the real truth has been hidden in plain sight? The 1775 Bible shows us that the ultimate deception is not external. It's internal. The lie we've been living is the belief in our own smallness, in our own lack of power. The truth, however, is that we are far more powerful than we've ever been told, and it's time we remembered that. So back to the altered calendar, living in harmony with yourself. The idea that our current way of measuring time, how we mark our days, our weeks, and even our holidays, might be a product of deliberate alteration is startling for many. It would mean everything we've come to accept as normal is rooted in decisions made centuries ago, perhaps not with the intent of keeping us aligned with a deeper, more natural order. This makes us pause and question, are we truly living in harmony with ourselves? Or have we been conditioned into a system that subtly distances us from our deeper nature? And then the question becomes, what else have we been conditioned to accept? It's easy to think of conditioning in terms of rules imposed by society, but it goes deeper than that. It's woven into the very fabric of our existence, from the way we view time, to the way we celebrate, to the way we think about our place in the world. Conditioning shapes our perception of reality, sometimes in ways that keep us from seeing the truth. Escaping social conditioning starts with questioning. Why do we celebrate Christmas on December 25th? Why is Sunday considered the first day of the week? These aren't just trivial questions. They get to the heart of how we've been taught to see the world. If you peel back the layers, you begin to realize that much of what we accept as normal is the product of decisions made by people who lived hundreds or thousands of years ago, and those decisions were often influenced by political, religious, and cultural forces that sought to control the masses, not empower individuals. This journey isn't easy. It requires us to question deeply held beliefs and step outside of the systems that have shaped our lives. But it's worth it, because when we break free from social conditioning, we open ourselves up to a deeper connection with the universe, one that offers a sense of peace, purpose, and alignment that is often missing in modern life. It will help you reconnect with the universe's natural rhythms. This isn't just about aligning with an ancient calendar. It's about reclaiming a sense of harmony that has been lost. It's about tuning into the subtle energies that guide our lives and finding our place within those cycles. When we are in sync with the natural order, we are more in tune with our own inner truth. We can break free from the conditioning that tells us how we should live and begin to live in a way that feels true to who we are. This is both a liberating and a daunting realization. On one hand, it means that we are not as constrained as we might think. On the other hand, it means that the responsibility for shaping our reality falls squarely on our shoulders. If reality is malleable, then it's up to us to decide how we want to shape it. Do we continue to follow the traditions, structures, and beliefs that have been handed down to us? Or do we take the reins and begin to consciously create a reality that aligns with our true desires and values? The choice is ours, and it starts with recognizing that reality is not as fixed as we've been led to believe. It's time to take a step back, question the structures we've accepted, and realize that the world is far more flexible than we ever imagined.